5 matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, the Philadelphia Eagles. We have something in common. We both took L's to the Dallas Cowboys in kind of similar fashion. We didn't get as blown out, but it was looking ugly. But we do have a special guest joining us, man. Let me tell y'all something. I like to give flowers. And this dude right here is instrumental in our channel growth for sure. This dude, he's provided a lot of inspiration when it comes to these player interviews, reaching out to these players and all that. So I got to give him his flowers. Shout out to Joe Castro, Philly the podcast. What's good, brother?
That was a nice intro, man. I like that. I feel right at home. I appreciate that. Nah,
it is crazy to see.
Good. It is crazy to see how quickly you guys have grown, and honestly, you guys deserve it, man. The work that you guys have put in this off season is a big inspiration to me. So to hear, I've inspired you in any little way is dope. But yeah, I'm excited to break this down, and I appreciate you guys bringing me on. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, I just saw your whiteboard blackboard in the back. Yeah, that got me. I just noticed that. That just threw me off just a little bit.
Sammy gonna be seeing ghosts, baby.
He might. He got CC ghosts right in front of him because they definitely be transparent in the mug. But I digress. All right. So, Joe, talk to me about last week. All right, talk to me about y'all went up against the Kansas City Chiefs. You guys lost. Before we get into our matchup, talk to me about what went right, what went wrong against the Kansas City Chiefs.
What went right? We'll start there because I guess that's a pretty short list. The offense looked better. We executed a poor game plan better than we did against the Dallas Cowboys. So, to go back to Cowboys, we didn't have the best of game plans. Obviously, only running, our number one running back 2 times in that game. You switch over to last week, it was more of the same. Booby got, I think, 10 total touches. And I think that was 3 of them were receptions. So, again, it was a poor game plan, but Jalen Hurts did his job, and he made easy throws, and we were able to move it on a porous, I think, at best. I think that's being nice to the Kansas City Chiefs defense right now. They were a terrible defense. So, he did his job. We'll be honest. I know a lot of Eagles fans are excited about that. So, that's the good. The bad is our defense looked worse than the Kansas City Chiefs. And honestly, that it surprised me. I will say that the Kansas City Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys have probably 2 of the top 5 offenses in the league right now. You can argue probably even higher if you want to. I can't do it because I just hate the Cowboys. But top 5 is a reach for me, But they're great offenses. So for your defenses to kind of falter to them, it's understandable. But to see us just look inept in the running game and then to go against a team that their whole motto is to keep pounding, it's a little bit worrisome. The Eagles have always kind of staked their claim on our run defense. So I'm a little bit worried. I will be honest, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens.
I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert.
Yeah.
You don't need to be worried, my man, because you haven't seen our offensive line.
Yeah, you don't need to be worried about. But Dave, I'm gonna go to you about and let's fill Joe in about our game against the Cowboys. What went right, what went wrong? I'm gonna defer to you, Dave. You handle that because it was I could go on all day, but it is what it is.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I'm just such a simple guy when it comes to these things. The Carolina Panthers is one of the best first half teams in the NFL, bar none. One of the best. We know how to hold leads. Our defenses play great, but there's a big problem when it comes to the Carolina Panthers. We are horrific in the third quarter. We've only scored points in 1 game in the third quarter out of 4. We are terrible. So unfortunately, the score was 14-13 going into the half, and we gave up 20 points in the third quarter, and we didn't score a single one. And then after that, we're playing catch up. And Sam Darnold and the rest of the team did a really good job catching up. And we brought it down to a 1-possession game. But at that point, Dallas was being softer than a contour pillow. So it didn't matter at that point.
The contour.
The contour pillow, bro.
Oh,
no feather, all foam. But what it boils down to is that we are terrible coming into the half on the third quarter. So we're not good at that. I felt like we abandoned the run way too early. Our offensive line, even though PFF says we played okay, I completely disagree. Right. I thought we didn't play that well. I think our line has been bad. We knew the line was the weak. Offensive line was going to be the weakness. We got destroyed in the trenches on both ends. Our defense did not get a single sack. which scares me with you guys and Jalen Hurts. I'll
Mm-hmm.
keep it a buck. It scares me a bit because we didn't get no sacks. But you know, and that's the game, man. Like we the game was over after the third.
I thought you was keeping it short, bro.
You
You went on a little rant there.
I feel them though, man. Them Cowboys will do it to you, brother.
It's the thing is with us, man, and Rashad will probably talk about it further, is that we be out here looking great in the first half, and then we show up in the third quarter. We're like, y'all can have all the points you want, and we're not going to score one for you. And that's how it's been. And then at that point in the fourth quarter, we're like trying to either hold the game on, or the game's pretty much over. And that's what happened on Sunday. The game was pretty much over.
Yeah, we got, and it's funny because you talk about keep pounding and running the football. And I think some of y'all, I think you guys have a similar thing, right? I feel like you guys are capable of running the football, but you don't. And that's kind of what happened with the Panthers, right? The Panthers, we averaged 4.7 yards per carry against the Cowboys, but for some reason, we just abandoned the run. We completely abandoned the run. We would get stuffed and put it in Sam Darnold's hands. And if another guy was in the backfield named CMC, he would get the 30 touches, right? And that's what you should be afraid of. If Christian McCaffrey is going to play, which we don't know as of right now, I think they'll practice tomorrow and the injury report comes out. He's going to give it a go this week, and we'll see. I think he'll most likely be a game time decision. So you won't know until
he's more than welcome to hang out for another week.
I'm just saying, but that's the thing. But that's the thing, though. That's the thing. We got capable. Like Chuba Hubbard is a good running back.
Capable.
The problem is that when C-Mac is out, the offense changes. We completely change.
No, the problem is we have a running back that begins with the letter C, but his first name ain't named Christian. So they decided they don't want to run the ball with the guy. They'll run Christian, but they won't run Chuba.
You know what I think happens? You know what I think happens a lot, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but especially with the Eagles, maybe it's with other teams as well. But you look at Kansas City and you look at Dallas, I feel like we try to puff our chest out. Like we're not a team that throws the ball, 50 times, at least successfully. We're not that type of team. And I feel like sometimes when you go against a Dak Prescott-led offense or a Patrick Mahomes-led offense, you kind of want to put your quarterback out there and duel with the guys. You kind of get away from what you're actually good at. You want your quarterback to be Dak Prescott. You want your quarterback to be Patrick Mahomes because you feel like that's how you can beat those offenses. But I feel like, honestly, if you slow these games down, and I've been saying this about the Eagles for a long time, if you slow these games down, this is going to help everybody. It helps your offense, your defense, everything. And, we talk about Jalen Hurts, and I feel like he's best when he's given an easy decisions. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he's trash or he can't read defenses, but right now it's not necessary if you got guys that run 4-3s, that can get open off the line of scrimmage. So if they're going to get open within a couple of seconds, just get the ball out of his hand. Let them get the yak yards, So you go back to when we won our game and we led the league in yak yards that week, and we have not done that since. So we haven't even come close to the top 10. So that's where we got to get back to, I think, going into this game.
Yeah, that's our offense. What you just said is that's our offense to the T. Ball control offense. We want to dominate time possession. We want to short pass. We're not throwing the ball. Well, when we do throw the ball deep, it's not being completed. So we want to throw short passes, get the yak yardage, get it to DJ Moore, get it to Robbie Anderson, and let them just yak. That was our offense last year. That's our offense this year with Sammy. It's really to make him make those easy decisions, like you said with Jalen Hurts. Go out there, make those easy decisions, complete the pass, extend the drives, dominate ball control, dominate the ball, time possession, and just keep the ball out the other offense's hands and just play good defense. That is the Carolina Panther way. And unfortunately, we got away from that because we could not extend drives. We got behind. And then once we get behind, you put the ball in Sam Darnold's hands. He throws 2 picks, and then you're off schedule at that point. All right. So we don't like playing from behind. That's not where we want to be. For the first 3 games, we didn't play from behind all 3 games. We never, until that Cowboys game, we never played from behind. And we got behind in that Cowboys game, and it's almost like they panicked a little bit from a play calling perspective. Not the players, from a play calling perspective. They wanted to catch up, and they wanted to throw the football, and the offensive line we can't sustain that. Our offensive line is not built to do that. And so, again, if we get behind in any game, I get nervous. Like if it becomes a 2-possession game, then I'm like, all right. But I will say Sam did a good job. Given that the cards that he was dealt, I think he did about as good as I was expecting him to do. But I just don't like as a team us playing from behind. So it's interesting. But real quick, before we get into the X's and O's of the game, tell me about like the injuries. Because I know you guys have been dealing with some things on the offensive line. Talk to me on the, wherever you're dealing with injuries, talk to me about that, and I'll update you on where we are with injuries.
I don't know if we have enough time for all that. No. Realistically, I know last year the sky was falling with injuries. This year it is tough. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not sure what's going on with Jordan Mailata, our left tackle. He was injured. I haven't gotten any type of update on him. But we had Andre Dillard at that left tackle spot. He graded out as, I think, our second highest offensive player the week that he played. So I'm not too worried about him. He is a former first-round pick. He's done well when he's played at left tackle. But if you look at the left guard position, we are out. Isaac Seumalo's gone for the season. We put in the rookie Landon Dickerson there. He's been okay. He's been up and down. Landon. Yeah, Landon's been up and down. He's been a rookie. I think it's fair to say he's been a rookie that got thrown into the game halfway through it. So I'm not too worried, but it's obviously not Isaac. We still got Jason Kelsey. He's fine. The biggest ones, I guess, are Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson. Brandon Brooks is out for at least another 2 weeks, I believe, if not longer. I know he's on that 3-week IR. But Lane Johnson was a really fishy one. So Lane Johnson last week was a go all week. He was good to go all week. And then literally, I want to say it was 2 hours before, Derek Gunn, I have a couple friends, and you know what I'm saying? Derek Gunn has been real cool with me. And he hits me up and he's like, Lane's not playing. So I'm like, oh, God. So 2 hours before, Lane Johnson's just not a go. And it was for personal reasons. There was never any clarification on what that is. Nick Sirianni just was live yesterday, I want to say, and they still said nothing. They still said there's no update. So if we're without our right tackle, that could be huge for us. We had Jack Driscoll playing that position last night, and it wasn't terrible. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great by any means. But other than that, we're actually decent right now, like health-wise. Last year we had a whole bunch of injuries on the defensive side. We don't really have anything big. It's really just on our offensive line. But I think that the guys that we have going in for them can do the job. I don't think that they're, there's only one Brandon Brooks. There's only one Lane Johnson. And Jordan Mailata was on, he was ranked as the top 2 offensive lineman the first 2 weeks. So he was on pace to be a pretty good offensive lineman. But, I think the guys that we have are going to be good. I think we'll be all right. So not too worried about the injuries for once in my life.
Yeah, I think from a Panthers perspective, we got question marks around Christian McCaffrey. We don't know if he's going to play or not. He's going to go, give it a go, see if he can come back. They didn't put him on IR from the hamstring issue he had in the Texans game. And obviously, if they put him on IR, he'd be out at least 3 weeks. So it's a short-term injury, and hopefully he can give it a go. We'll see what happens. The team is just different when he's on the field. They call plays different. He's like the ultimate safety valve, so to speak. And Sam just dumps it off to him pretty much 98% of the time, and he's going to go get that yak. So not having him on the field is a big loss, only if they decide to change the play calling. Again, they change up the play calling, and I don't think Sam felt as comfortable dumping the football off to Chuba because he has shown propensity to drop the ball. Although he was 2 of 2 in the Cowboys game, he did catch both targets towards him. So we'll see what happens with that. Outside of that, we got another huge injury in Shaq Thompson. Shaq Thompson is our starting inside linebacker who may not play, and that is a big time loss if he does not play.
I think it's a safe bet he's not playing.
Yeah, it's pretty much a safe bet that he's not going to play. Yeah, he had an issue. I know, right?
It's hilarious.
Injury. I was gonna say issue/injury, and I mixed
like
it too.
Mary J. Blige.
I know, right?
And this dancery. I was like, man, I know she's doing the Super Bowl, but man,
I know, right? Got a little ahead of myself. He has an issue, I think, with his leg or something, or his foot.
It's his foot.
Yeah, foot. So, we already elevated up a guy from the practice squad, Kamal Martin. He's been elevated to the practice squad, so it's a safe bet that he is not going to play, and that is a huge. And listen, I've been I said 1,000 times, Shaq Thompson before this year was pretty much a bum. He changed his number, came out there with a 7 on, and the dude's completely dead. He was a monster the first 3 games. He was a all over the field. So him not being on the field is a big time loss. I don't know how we're going to replace that. But that defense without him is going to be different. He's super athletic, sideline to sideline. He's a former running back, so the dude's just he's all over the place. And I think he was starting to get in his bag. He in the Dallas game.
Okay.
He came back. He came back. He played through it. And then came out on Monday that he was like, "Yo, foot injury." They didn't put him on IR, so they don't. It's one of those McCaffrey things, right? They're not going to call it, but they're starting to make those procedural moves with moving folks up from the practice squad. So if he does not play, that is a big loss for the Panthers. I'm just going to go ahead and say that for our defense, it's a big loss. So outside of that, I don't know if you Tugos Matos, that's your boy, right? You're Penn State. Yeah. So I think we missed him a lot last week. On the edge, couldn't stop that run. I think he was missed. So without him, I have some concerns about stopping the run, which we'll dive in that a little bit. But yeah, I think injuries, next man up. We went toe to toe with the Cowboys. So even with those injuries, I think to me, and obviously we're not going to have J.C. Horn either. We did get C.J. Henderson. He played okay, although he did get scored on. That was the only target. The only catch was a touchdown catch on which Amari Cooper got on him. That was the only catch and only target. So other than that, he did fine, and he was in position even on that play. Just a better thrown ball and a better catch. So I'm not too worried about our cornerbacks. It kind of is what it is. But outside of that, we next man up. I wouldn't look. The biggest injury is going to be that Shaq Thompson injury. Outside of that, everybody else, I think we can make do with what we got. Even the C-Mac doesn't go. I think a lot of y'all Philly fans, trust me, the C-Mac missing is not as big as Shaq Thompson missing. That's a fact.
I will say, we were talking about Jalen Hurts. That's huge for Hurts. If he can take advantage of over the middle, because even against the Kansas City Chiefs, I put out a little clip of a couple of plays that I was looking at the Chiefs. And after this, listening to what y'all say, I nitpick what y'all say, and then I'm going to go look at the film and try and see how we could beat y'all. But I said this about the Chiefs. You can take advantage of those linebackers. And if you're telling me you're a speedster guy that's going to be able to keep up, edge to edge is out, that's huge for us, because realistically, we saw Kenny Gainwell on those, little flat. I don't even want to call them flat routes, because they go damn near 10 yards down the field sometimes with them. But either way, flat routes and just these checkdowns, we were killing people with that. That's what we're good at. And then obviously you have two, I don't want to say all world, but they're great tight ends. We have 2 great tight ends. So then you have Devontae Smith cutting people up outside. So I like that. Keep it short. Let's work these linebackers again. It worked last week. Let's do it again.
Yeah, and that brings up, and then I can go, and we can kind of go back and forth with this, but that brings me to my top concerns going into this game. I've got 4 concerns, and we can go back and forth with them. But one of them, and the number one, was not number one on the list is in priority, but the first one I wrote down was the tight ends. That is a huge concern for me. We got destroyed by Dallas's tight ends. Those guys tore us up.
But you know what the funny thing is? Dallas, those tight ends have been instrumental for Dallas's offense for the past couple of weeks. It hasn't just been us. Mm-hmm. Like, they've been utilizing the tight end a lot, because if Amari or CD's not open, that's who he defers to instead of Zeke. He would defer to those tight ends, and them tight ends be rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and they were taking it to us.
Yep, Dalton Schultz, 6 receptions, 58 yards and a touchdown. Blake Jarwin, 1 reception, 18 yards for a touchdown. So gave up two touchdowns to tight ends. And so I have some concerns about that. That's my number one concern. What's your you kind of already mentioned it, but
the realistic part of it is we have 2 great tight ends. We have a great running back too. Biggest problem is we don't use them. So like the tight ends have not been seeing the targets that they should be. You know what I'm saying? They definitely haven't been utilized as they should be. Last game made me feel a little bit better because they were utilized more. So maybe it is, they're just looking at these matchups and they didn't think he had, favorable matchups in the first 3 games. I don't know how, but maybe that's the key. I'm hoping that they start, if the Eagles involve our tight ends, it could really open up this whole offense. I really do feel like that. So if, they see that it starts working against you guys, I would love for them to really go crazy with it. The only thing that worries me about our tight ends is the lack of use so far, but that can all change this week. So hopefully, they see the matchup that they have this week and they're like, all right, this is when we're going to get Dallas Goedert really going. This is when we're going to get, Zach Ertz really going, because we're one of the only teams, maybe like 3 other teams do this with their tight end, but we'll have Dallas Goedert on literal screens. Like we'll literally set up screens just for Dallas Goedert. That's how athletic he is. So like he gets the ball behind this line of scrimmage a lot. So if we can get back to that, if we start feeling comfortable and getting back into that, I think this offense can be really dangerous. Right now, we've been so up and down, so we're just looking for consistency right now. So hopefully they start using them.
Yeah, and I saw in the chat, I think it's an interesting point. A lot of folks talking about Jeremy Chin. Obviously, Jeremy Chin has the flexibility to move down to linebacker, so he could be that chess piece to kind of eliminate some of that stuff. Don't know if it's going to happen. Since we are lacking at linebacker, he's probably going to be the next best option. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Phil Snow's going to have to draw something up because we do got to watch these tight ends because they definitely got off on us on Sunday. So brings me to my next point. My next concern is going to be your yards per rush. All right, you guys rank first in yards per rush. All right, that concerns me. You may not. So it's interesting with Philly, and this is why it concerns me, but it doesn't. And we can look in the mirror. It's almost like looking in the mirror here. You rank first in yards per rush, but you rank 25th in rush attempts per game. So it's like if you run it, you nice, but are you gonna run it? And so that's kind of the thing.
But is that more Jalen Hurts too?
I see. Thank you. Real talk. All right, this is gonna sound a little bit like a rant, but I promise it's not gonna
go off. Go off.
I love Jalen Hurts, and I know I'm sure you guys have seen a couple of my videos talking about it. I love Jalen Hurts, and I don't want people thinking I'm talking junk about him. But we as Eagles fans jump off of ledges a little bit too quick sometimes. We joked about it behind the scenes before we started off, but like Hurts is everybody's GOAT again. He had one consistent game. And realistically, before that game, I could not take one of his games and say he played 4 quarters of that game. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of it. But to say what you were saying, that is a big point that I think people aren't understanding. We run heavy RPO. We run a heavy RPO offense. And when you do that, it's in its name, right? You have an option to run it or to pass it. And that option comes down to the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, yes. Do you want to see more designed runs for Miles Sanders? Yes. But when you have athletic players like Jalen Hurts, when you have guys like Quez Watkins, Devontae Smith, that, like I said, they can get open off the line of scrimmage. So it becomes a 1-2. It becomes a quick, a 1-2 second type decision. And you can win a lot of those. And one of those things can just go to the house. So I love that you said that, Dave, because it is true. I said this before, and I'm actually going to do a video right after this about it. But Jalen Hurts takes that ball out of Miles' stomach a lot. And I don't think people are really noticing that or really realizing that. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, when you go back and watch the film, I think that's one place where we can get got because we really get aggressive. Like we got athletes. You talk about Brian Burns, you talk about Hassan Reddick. They're great, but sometimes they over pursue. So when you tuck that thing and you pull it back, you might get smacked. But if he lets it go, there might be a lane. You know what I'm saying? And with Shaq Thompson not there, you could have a wide open lane. So it's going to be interesting to watch. And real quick, I do see a lot of people saying that Hurts is a good bulk of your rushing yards. That's on my concern too, right? That's on my concern list. Hurts mobility, right? His mobility scares me. It happened with Dak. Dak coming off injury. He don't even want to run. But dude was getting off. He was getting off.
Because we play so much man. Like we play a lot of man, right? And because of that, the corners ain't watching. We're gonna have to put a spy on Hurts. We're gonna have to put a spy on Hurts.
Honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, and this is going to sound stupid, maybe a little bit, I hope you guys do shut him down as a runner. I hope that he has to be a passer in this game. I really do. And it's not just because I'm not sitting here saying,
I hope he
he's going to
does too.
throw all over
Philly.
you. Yeah, no. And it's not that I'm sitting here saying, I'm not going to say he's going to throw all over you. He's going to go out there like Dak. I'm saying that because realistically, I think he leaves a lot of yards on the field by becoming a runner far too quick. So I would love for you guys to, and like I said, if we go into this game and we win this game, that's awesome. But like realistically, we got to figure out who the heck this team is. You know what I'm saying? And Jalen Hurts is the main part of that. So I would love to see him have to be a passer in this game. And I think that he can do well. And I think that if you shut down Jalen Hurts, then it gives him the, I don't want to say confidence, but it gives him the mindset to give it to Booby more. You know what I'm saying? If he gets popped in the mouth a couple times, maybe he'll say, "Here, Booby, you take a couple hits now," and then maybe we can get off on the running game. So I don't know what needs to happen for this running game to get going, but something needs to happen. So maybe that's it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great points. The last concern I had for this game was the movement on the offense. Like, you guys got a lot of misdirection, jet sweeps, and again, I just spoke about it. Our offense, or our defense, our ends get overly aggressive sometimes. And I think that could play in against us, right? You start having all this misdirection and all this stuff going on. They start second guessing themselves. So then they're not pinning their ears back. And at the same time, so it's going to slow down the pass rush with all the misdirection. So that was a concern I was watching. When I was watching the game, I'm like, shit, they got a lot going on. It's a lot of dudes going in motion. It's a lot going on. So that concerns me, especially if we're not going to have those, like we just said, Shaq Thompson. If he's not able to move sideline to sideline, if they hand one of those things off and you got Devonta Smith or whoever gets the ball taken off, like, are we going to be able to keep up with that? So that was a concern of mine when I watched the game. Any thoughts on that? What's up with all that movement, man?
Realistically, I'm glad that you brought that up because they didn't do that till last week. That was the first time that we actually were doing that. Our OC Shane Steichen even had to make a comment about it prior to that week, and he was saying that he doesn't want to do unnecessary movements. He doesn't want to do it's giving them some type of upper hand, if it's giving them some type of advantage on the field, to read if it's man, to read, to move guys around. So he didn't do that until I guess they felt they had that type of matchup against the linebackers. Looking at your team and from what I'm hearing right now, it sounds like we can do that again. So I'm hoping we do, but we did have a lot of movement yesterday, or not yesterday, excuse me, on Sunday, but that was new. That was a lot of new. And realistically, I was kind of surprised because, when Shane Steichen said that, it kind of sounded like they just didn't want to do it. So I was happy that they did that, but I think it was more pinned to the opponent. And if you guys are down a guy that can go sideline to sideline, and if you don't necessarily have another guy that can do that, hey, bombs away, go at it again, run everybody around. I think you have to.
Right. Yeah, we'll see. Because I don't know. I don't have an answer, Sway. I don't have an answer. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know how they're gonna replace Shaq. But that one hurts. That one hurts. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. No pun intended there, by the way. So that was my concerns. Is there anything else I should be concerned about with Philly? Defensively, offensively, give me some things I should be worried about.
I'll say this. We met through like the draft, right? We did the draft, and back then me and you were talking about, what we needed. And back then it was cornerback. This year, I'm actually surprised. I think that we have a good secondary. I think that our linebackers are our weakness, which we can get into later, but I think we actually have a decent secondary. If you're trying to beat us on the outsides, I like our chances better this year, far better this year than I did last year. This year, it seems more like the run game is our detriment. But if you look at the teams that we've played a lot of good wide receivers. We shut down Calvin Ridley. We shut down Kyle Pitts, TBD on him if he's good or not, whatever. But we shut down George Kittle. We shut down Debo Smith 8, but it wasn't crazy. He didn't go insane. We kind of shut down Amari. Like we shut down a lot of good wide receivers. So I'm not saying that we have a world-beating secondary, but I think that if it becomes a game where you're depending on just the pass, I think we're a little bit more equipped than we were last year. And I think we'll give you a little bit more fits on the outside. But if you start throwing it through the middle and up the seam, if you start working on linebackers, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, you might have some problems there. That's all we do is go across the middle. DJ drag route across the middle. That's it, and he's gonna eat. That's literally all our offense. That's our offense. It's like just across the middle. So we got a lot of wide receivers. Just to talk about it, you got Robbie Anderson, you got DJ Moore, you got Terrace Marshall, who hasn't really been utilized. I mean, he's been utilized, but we haven't fed him as much as he could be fed. Tight ends, we don't really use them like that, so you ain't really got to worry about. We don't have a George Kittle. We won't even have a damn Skittle. Okay, we ain't got no tight ends. All right, our tight ends are not no threat. Okay, Trimble is cool.
Gonna be called game.
Yeah, exactly. Greg Olsen, right? So we don't have a tight end. We don't. I mean, Tommy Trimble straight. I think he's gonna be great in a couple years. But he's not. They're not even using him like that. Ian Thomas, he's not it. And we don't use our other guys in that manner. So it is what it is with our tight ends. But yeah, I think outside, Robbie can get off. The problem with Robbie is he's a deep threat, and Sam can't really give him the ball right now. They have some communication issues. Something ain't right with their chemistry. Obviously, going back to the Jets, they had something. They lost it or never had. I don't think they ever had it, to be honest with you. But it's not there because Robbie Anderson gets open, and Sam just can't hit him for some reason. But Terrace Marshall, DJ Moore's been eating. He's on pace for like 1,600 yards almost. So good luck, especially if he lines up in the slot. It's gonna be problems guarding him because that's all we do. And I've seen him come out the backfield against the Cowboys too. That's even more scary. So he's a beast. He's got to be the guy you shut down. So other places where I think we could take advantage, right? So like you said, I believe you said it. I think you guys rank 31st in yards per game against the run. So, I mean, we're talking total yards per game. So I think if we want to run the ball and impose our will, I think we can do it. If we get a lead and we're able to sit on it and hand the football off, it might be problems.
I will say this. We're a terrible run defense right now. And it's mainly because of our linebackers and some to do with our defensive tackles not necessarily being able to, dominate the line of scrimmage. But that's a whole another story. I think it kind of intertwines more than people think. But our linebackers are just horrible. They can't fill gaps. They get lost in the blocks. Bad. You see Fletcher Cox getting double teamed, and then you see one of our linebackers going behind him on the double team. So it's like now you just got blocked by your own guy. But either way, our run defense is very bad. But I will say this. I think it has a lot to do with we're respecting a lot of these quarterbacks. We don't want to let anything get behind us. So you'll see us play a lot of two deep, a lot of two deep shots, a lot of, we really only run two linebackers. So I don't want to say we're giving people runs because obviously nobody wants to give people 150 yards or whatever it is we're giving up right now a game. But like, we really are. We're just kind of trying to keep everything in front of us. We'll let you win within the 20s, and then we're just hoping we can stop you in the red zone. So, I mean, I think running the ball is, that's the smartest thing to do against us.
That plays right into what we do. We're awesome between the 20s. Like, we're great. That we get in the red zone, we're much more, way more improved we were last year because Sammy D can run the football. He's like lead the league in rushing touchdowns right now. Mm-hmm. So hey, I thought somebody said we got a Vanilla Vic, and the dude he's a threat. B he can run.
Sammy. I like Sam. I'm as a Penn State fan. I watched him tear up Penn State, and I want to say it was the Rose Bowl a couple years ago. Not a couple years ago. We're old, but when he was back in college, he tore up PSU. So I know he's got some skill in him, and I was happy honestly to see him leave the Jets. And you guys have a good offense. You guys have a good defense. I mean, if I had to be honest with you, do I think that we deserve to be a favorite in this game? Nah, not really. But I think that we will match up better than a lot of people expect. You know what I'm saying? I think that we have some things that we can take advantage of you guys on. And if our offense can get going and if our defense is, what we saw in the first 2 weeks and not the last two, I think this is going to be a really good game, and it could turn our season around, to be real, if I'm being 100% honest.
Yeah. So don't worry, Philly, man, because you're not the favorite. Right now, shout out to mybookie.ag. The Carolina Panthers are 3.5-point favorites against the Philadelphia Eagles this week.
That's a toss-up.
That is a toss-up because typically
that's respect. I take that.
Yeah, because typically the home team comes in at -3, and it's only -3.5. So So if you into it, man, you need to go to mybookie.ag, my brother.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
might have
plus.
to put some money on now.
There's a plus 160 money line for the Eagles to win. A minus 190 for the Panthers.
I might have to have
right now.
Sign up using that code PNP, by the way.
Yeah, if you ain't in, sign up using the code PNP for those who don't know.
Say less. Yeah. I know what I'm doing after this. Say less. I'm betting it all. Betting the house on us.
House.
Look, man, don't be out here using your banners and your chalkboard back there, bro. Don't be out here losing all your stuff back here, putting the house on the Eagles today, man.
All right, so let's go around the room. Let's get some final predictions. We'll start out with Dave. Dave, what you thinking? Final predictions.
I want the Panthers to cover this line, man. So I'm going to be honest, man. I'm nervous about the fact that Shaq's not going to play. I think we're going to give up more points. I still think we're going to win this game at home. And I think the Panthers will cover that 3.5. So give me 28-24 Carolina.
Damn, did they really release Jalen?
Hey, we need to go pick him up. I don't know if this is true.
You don't want him. You don't want him. He's trash.
We all about reclamation projects over here.
We out here taking CJ Henderson from Jacksonville.
CJ Henderson, I wanted CJ so bad, bro. CJ Henderson's a dog.
He's a dog.
CJ Henderson,
he is a dog. I don't know why Urban didn't see he was a dog, but we see why Urban didn't see him as a dog. He's too busy trying to stay in Columbus. He's too busy trying to stay in Columbus, Ohio, out here with transgressions. And maybe me and Rashad will talk about that after this. Let me tell you something, man. Urban might not survive the week.
He shouldn't. He's doing too much, man. I used to live in Jacksonville. It's so easy to get caught up out there. Like, you look at their old quarterback, what's his name? I forget his name. Or he used to like buy me bottles every week. Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles used to buy everybody bottles on the weekends on Jacksonville.
Don't be slandering Blake Bortles. He won me a fantasy championship a few years ago. Don't be slandering Blake Bortles like that.
Jacksonville, I don't know. That's not the city to mess up, man. But if Jalen's is out, that's kind of crazy. I
had my worst Waffle House experience in Jacksonville.
I could believe that.
I walked up into the Waffle House near the airport in Jacksonville when I was on a trip for work. And I was like, give me a sweet tea. And all of a sudden I saw this roach just crawl by my table. And I was like, you know what? I'm all set. I don't want
it was just one. It was just one roach.
All I need is one, bro. It's like Nas. All I need is one roach, one crawl, one past the table would make my decision to make the exit and head to the hall.
That. But I love CJ. CJ, I actually had this guy Eric Crocker. He used to play for I think the 49ers back in the day or something like that. But he's a DB, and now he does like the draft stuff for Locked On 49ers, and he was huge on CJ Henderson. So I had him on to just kind of like try and talk my Eagles fans into it a little bit. And of course, as soon as that happens, you guys pick him up. But it is what it is. Hopefully we figure it out.
Yeah, no, I just looked up. It is true. Adam Schefter just tweeted.
That's crazy.
He is cut. I was trying to look at his contract.
The Eagles might need to pick him up. We ain't got no linebackers.
We don't need that, man. We took a flyer on Perriman, and Perriman is balling right now. The Raiders too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. That's kind of he's cooking.
But you know why? You know why he left. I mean, we all know why he left. We know why he left. He lost the job to Carter. Yeah. So when he lost the job to Carter, he didn't want to stay there anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be on the. I don't know where we fall on the waiver wire, but I'd be up there. I put in a claim. No, we have to take a contract.
I'm kind of surprised.
We have to take a contract. He does have a nice little because he just signed he did get a second contract. So his contract is.
He's got some knee issues. It's crazy though because they thought that he took like a team friendly deal. And he hasn't done anything since he did, but he didn't do anything after that. So it didn't look that friendly.
A 4-year, $6 million contract. No, that was his rookie. No, 6 years, $68 million. That wasn't necessarily damn team friendly.
No, that's what I'm saying. They were saying he should.
I gotta see the contract. I gotta check the history. But yeah, man, he that's crazy. I don't know. I gotta check that out. I gotta look into that. But we can't have two high paid ass linebackers.
Facts.
So we'll see.
Why not? We had two high playing one backs at one point.
I'd rather get Miles Jack. Go get Miles Jack. I'd give up a pick for Miles Jack right now.
You got to take his contract, and his contract now we got bigger fish to fry. Still got Hassan Reddick. We're gonna have to pay. So I'm cool on Jalen. That contract is too big. If he clears waivers, then after that I'd be on the phone. But his contract is too big. Pause. I was gonna say his contract is too big to take. That's a huge pause. Pause on that. Pause on that. All right, pause. All right.
Mad pauses on the Panther Nation podcast, yo.
All right, Joe, give me your prediction on what you think how the game's gonna go down, bro.
If I'm being 100% honest, I do feel like the Eagles match up well in this game. If I go back to the preseason, I had us losing. I had us right where we are. I had us literally right where we are, winning the first game, losing the next 3, and then I had us beating you guys. So you guys are better than I thought preseason. I'll say that 100%. But
we agree
with the same way. We feel the same way.
But I will say
that is no shame on us. We feel the same way, bro.
But I will say, and this, I'm not trying to sound like a hater, but if you start looking at your schedule, if you start really digging into your schedule, I think that the Cowboys kind of showed who you might really be. And I don't think we're as far as I did prior to that Dallas game. So I do think that it's going to be a decent game. I don't think either team's going to get blown out. I think Jalen Hurts can take advantage of your defense and the guys that you guys are missing. Defensively, I think that we can stop you guys. If you guys have Christian McCaffrey and try to run it down our throats, we might be we might be poop out of luck. I don't know if you guys curse on your head, but we might be out of luck on that.
Bro.
Yeah, exactly. But we might be out of luck on that. But I think that if we can play our type of game, which I think last week offensively was our type of game, and play good defense like we did the first 2 weeks, I see us coming out of here with a win. I really do. And I think there'll be, if I even had to throw out a number, I'd probably say like a 27-24 type victory. I think that we can come out here and win, and we can really start turning things around.
On the road?
On the road.
Okay.
On the road. We have to. You got. I look at my schedule right now, and we have to win this game. Maybe it's not a must win in the sense of like, if you win this, the whole season's over. But realistically, as an Eagles player, fan, whatever you want, you look at this. We go from here, and in a couple of days, we got to go play Tampa Bay. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't get any much more fun after that. Yeah. So I mean, we're in a situation that we need to steal a couple games, and I think this is probably the most logical that we can steal. I think that, you guys have some injuries, you guys have some question marks, and I think we can take advantage of those. So, I do think it's going to be a great game. If you guys win, I would not be surprised at all. I'd be very surprised if either team got blown out. I will be 100% honest. I think we're closer than I did probably a couple days ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel the same way. I feel like, and to me, I think the Panthers are playing with house money. I don't, if we win, great. If we lose, I really don't. It don't really bother me at this point because my eyes are really my eyes are on next season. That's where it really gets. That's where the rubber hits the road for me. So, but for this game, I do think it's a winnable game. Both teams. I mean, we got smacked in the mouth, bro. Like we got our shit handed to us last week, and I really feel like you're gonna see a team that's we're gonna respond, right? So. You guys as well. Like that's what makes this game so hard to call, right? Because you guys are coming in on a little losing streak here, and I think you guys are better than that losing streak, right? You're not as bad as you were against the. You showed up. Look what you did against the Chiefs, right? So you're not what you were against that. That's a division game. Shit that happens in divisional games. So. But I feel like we are capable of winning this game, even with the injuries. I feel like, and if C-Max plays, and I think that and they use him the right way, meaning you put him out there and mix in Chuba, it could be really dangerous. Like if they do it the right way, and utilize him in the correct manner and not overdo it, I think it could really confuse that defense, and I think it could spell some problems. Again, all the weapons. The defense does have some holes, like you said, the run game. I do think we can take advantage of the linebackers across the middle. That is our offense. Drag routes across the middle, those pick plays, all that stuff. That's our offense, bro. So we're going to stress your linebackers. So you're going to see a lot of things, a lot of short, quick passes to protect Sam Darnold and protect that offensive line because our offensive line is trash. Y'all might not be great in the trenches, but we probably worse on the other side.
I said it. I'll put it up here for everybody that can't see. Sammy's going to be seeing ghosts. I mean, Javon Hargrave has been out there eating. Our run defense has been suspect, but when they get back there, they get back there in bunches. So I do think, and then we saw it last year. Obviously, it was with the Jets, but I feel like with Sam Darnold, once he gets a little bit shell-shocked, he just holds the ball a little bit too long. We even saw it with that Micah Parsons sack. I think any other quarterback, he's probably just letting go of that ball. I think he held the ball a little bit too long. So if we can get him to do that, I think it is what I think we can really, cause some havoc in the back of the backfield.
We'll see. And even with Hurts, like I feel like we could take advantage of Hurts. I feel like if he relies on his legs too much, it might be a problem for him. Like we get back there quick. Like it's gonna be quicker than you probably have ever seen. Even with Dallas, I know Dallas, they get pressure, but I'm telling you, Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick, they are a problem. I do have question marks around whether we can stop the run. Again, I expect them to respond. We got smacked in the mouth. We gave up 245 last week. I expect us to kind of that's not us, right? We're not that bad, but we're also, I don't think we're going to be given, because prior to that, we were only giving up 45 rushing yards per game. That was 3 games. We shut down Alvin Kamara. I don't think we were that good, but we're not 245 bad either. So I think we're somewhere in the middle. And so if we can keep the run game under control, put the ball in Hurts' hands, I think y'all might have some problems. But I think that just depends on whether we can get the lead, whether we can, force a couple 3-and-outs, play that ball control offense. If it plays in our hands and we get up on y'all quick and put the clamps and just run the football, y'all might have some problems. That's what I expect. I expect for us to stop you guys early and then let Sam Darnold hand the ball off. He's gonna throw a couple passes across the middle. We're gonna move the football. We're gonna get up maybe like 14 to like 3 or something like that, and we just gonna chill the rest of the game.
I don't see all that happening.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
I will say this: there's some portion of the fan base that had the Panthers making the playoffs this year, and I will say this just to let you guys be aware, man. The next 5 teams, the next 5 teams on Carolina's schedule right now, currently,
we ain't scared of nobody, man.
They only got 1 win each. Like they're all 1-win teams coming into week 5. So from that,
they're gonna be hungry, bro. Them the teams you don't want to face.
Yeah, well,
you can throw that record out all you want to. Them dudes are trying to get dubs.
No, I get it. But my point is that the soft portion of the schedule is the first 9 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to disrespect the Eagles, but my point is that if the way that Carolina makes the playoffs is based on how strong they are right now. Like right now, they're on schedule, right? Like 3-1 is what I expected out of Carolina right now. Considering before the season, before I saw this defense,
we did expect to go 3-0.
Yeah, we expect to go 3-0 and lose to Dallas. So, but now we're at the point where we got to win these games. If we don't win these games, it's an ugly offseason, and then we're going to be having different questions at the end of the offseason. And I think we're going to be able to beat Philly. Jalen Hurts scares me a bit because of his ability to run out of the pocket and run in his rushing yards. He scares me a lot because we play so much man. So I pray to God that they make the executive decision to put Jeremy Chin and spy on his ass. But I don't know if they're going to do that.
Especially if y'all playing a lot of man, bro, because that you know what that tells me? That tells me put Quez on the outside, let him get the ball in his hands, and let him go. Because realistically, we are very good at our screen. So, I mean, look, I think that this is a telling game for both teams. Because, like I said, your first 4 games, you can argue that the first 3 were easier teams, and Dallas kind of showed who you were. You can argue that, but you can also argue that you're a good team. You know what I'm saying? And I think for the Eagles, you can argue that we just went against 3 very good teams, you know, and got shot out. We got beat up. And realistically, it is what it is. We're a very young team. Didn't really have an off preseason because, Jalen Hurts, and I think he played like maybe 3 or 4 snaps. So you can argue that we're coming into our own maybe. So we'll see what happens. This is going to be this is going to answer a lot of questions on both sides. I'm either going to be looking at mock drafts or.
Yeah, and one thing we didn't talk about was coaching, right? Situational football. Boy, do we have some problems in that area. So I think that matters too. I think the coaching staff really needs, especially offensively, we burn timeouts. That's why that ball control offense is so important. We have to dictate the game. If we go out there and we get behind, it's gonna get ugly. This team panics. You can see it. They get real. They start calling timeouts. They get delayed games. We start to panic. If we're not up, and you'll see it. You'll watch if you go back and watch the Dallas game, or go back and watch any game. Go back to last year and watch games. We start to panic when we get in these tight games. Now the first 3 games we had to worry about that because defense was clamping. We put the clamps on everybody. Defense was balling. This past Sunday, we fell behind. We panicked a little bit. Started burning timeouts. The shot clock. The game clock was going down. The play clock, excuse me. We delayed game penalties. We burned timeouts. So can we get back on track? That's what I'm watching too. I think that's an important aspect of the game. Talk to me about y'all coach, man, because I know some of y'all be complaining about y'all coach over there.
Man, we're Eagles fans. We complain about everybody, but no, Nick Sirianni's a rookie head coach. I think, like I said, a lot of people are mad because he doesn't run the ball. A lot of people are questioning his schemes and everything. I think that he has a decent offense. I think that he's a decent coach. I don't think he's done anything to really wow me. It's a very simple offense right now. I think you have such a young offense. It's really hard to tell what this coach is because I think he's trying to make it so simple for this team. I don't know. I don't know. It's really hard to say anything too positive about him. There's a lot of negative things around. He makes a great, he makes a great speech. He'll wear a really cool shirt, I'm sure, at one of the press conferences. But as far as his coaching, I can't really go either way because it's such a new team, and I really do feel like it's such a vanilla type offense right now because it's just you just want to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, so sometimes that just seems so easy. It just seems so, easy screen here, RPO there. So he's not doing anything, out of this world. I will say he doesn't have the discipline of this team. We are leading the league in penalties right now. So I will say that probably gets me a little bit worried, but I'm not too high or low on him. It comes down to execution for this team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I mean it's gonna be a good game though. I think this is a really good game. I think it's a good game to measure where both teams are, like you said. So I think it's gonna be a good game, man. And we gonna live stream this joint on. So I don't know. I might go to the game. I'm trying to go to the game, so we may not live stream.
I'm not too far from y'all.
Maybe you should come up.
Drive up.
I might have to drive up. I'll get you a ticket if you come up.
Oh, where? All right.
Yeah, I'll get you a ticket.
I'm gonna holler at you.
No, dead ass. If you want to come up, I'll get you a ticket to the game. We might be in the bleeds, but you'll be in there.
Hey, I don't care. Yeah, I'm gonna holler at you. I'm gonna talk to you.
All right, yeah, let's talk. All right. So anything else? You got any questions for us? I know you're gonna post this on your channel too. So you got any questions for us for your audience?
Honestly, I just want to know if it's a real simple question. Honestly, if you were to get beaten, if you watch this game and look back at it, you take the L, what would be the reasons? What would you feel would be the reasoning that you guys would lose?
Our offensive line.
No.
That's going to be the answer.
No, Rashad, no, that's not the answer. That is not the answer. Damn it, that's not the answer. You know what the answer is? The third quarter.
Or
the third quarter.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. The third quarter.
All of Sam Darnold's picks have been in the third quarter. All of them. All 3 of them. He has the worst quarterback rating out of all 4 quarters as the quarterback. So if there's any quarter I'm worried about, it's the third quarter. Offensive line withstanding, because that offensive line plays all 4 quarters, and they're fine the first 2 and the 4th. But for some reason, they forget how to play coming out of halftime. Maybe they need some better tools.
Heel Dave coming out.
I know
Heel Dave coming out. Here comes Heel Dave.
The chat was talking about Pastor Troy and Miracle and all these other whack rappers down in the South. Maybe they need to play more crunk before they go into the third quarter, get them amped up or whatever it is. But something happens in the third quarter where we're terrible. And I think that's going to be the factor more than anything else, how we respond coming into the third quarter. Point blank, period. We had the ball going against Dallas. We got the ball first against Dallas. We had an opportunity and we blew it. Point blank, period.
No, I agree. It's valid. We are not good. We are not a good third quarter. Really, we're a bad second half team. But the third quarter is worse. We were only better in the second half against Dallas because we had to come back. In the fourth quarter, we had to put our big boy pants on and make it a fight.
But we weren't better because we gave up 20 points in the third quarter.
No, I'm talking about in the fourth.
But we weren't better in the second half. That's my point. Like the fact that we gave up 20 points. Dallas ain't playing that soft defense in the fourth quarter if we don't give up 20 points.
That's true.
Point blank, period.
That's true.
So and I know they took Trayvon out at a certain point.
They took him out.
Yeah, they took him out.
They
took him out in the fourth.
But it was like after he gets 2 picks, oh yeah, we can go ahead and walk him out of here now.
Yeah.
I will say this, and I'm obviously an Eagles fan, so I'm very biased with this. But this always happens with the Cowboys. Like literally, they have a great little start. They do pretty good in the beginning, and then the wheels fall off come somewhere around December.
Cowboys catching strays.
It is what it is.
You earned the right.
Strays too, bro. Don't worry about it.
They gave you a couple strays and they came.
Shout out to my homies Tuck and Rome. You know what I'm saying? Those are my boys off seed too. And I watched that. I saw what they were saying, so I had to
give you some strays. That's all right. I like that. But yeah, Dave is right. Third quarter, but then I'm gonna second that, and it's gonna be 1A, 1B, right? It's gonna be the offensive line.
Yeah,
offensive line gave up too many if you guys get 20 plus pressures, we're gonna lose the game. If we're down and mark my words, after the game, go back, pull up PFF, or I'll give it to you. I'll give you the stats, right? If you don't have PFF, I'll give it to you. I'm gonna pull up the pressures. If it's 20 plus, we lose. If it's 10 to 15, then it was a game. We're more likely on the winning side. It's not a direct science, but there is some correlation there. There's correlation there.
See, the only way I think we get blown out is if you guys just say we're gonna run it down your throat. Because we're not gonna change. We're not gonna change what we're doing. We've proven that. We're gonna keep going out there with the same exact mentality on defense. It is what it is. It is what it is. So if you guys want to go and run, have fun. Like that's what we're gonna let you. We're gonna
that's what we should do, man. We should do that. Yeah. That's what I'm a proponent. We should run the ball 30 times, and that's what Joe Brady's plan is. He said that a couple weeks ago. He said, my plan is to run the ball 30 times a game." That went out the window on Sunday, this past Sunday, and that's why we lost. Yeah, not part of the reason why we lost, not the reason, but part of the reason why we lost.
Yeah, if you want to run on this, go ahead. I will give you this. I'll leave you with this little nugget. The only thing I would really say would get me very hype about our defense is if you hear Davion Taylor start. If you hear Davion Taylor starting at linebacker, something might shake because Davion Taylor was like a stud in preseason, got hurt. And then I don't know what happened. So Davion Taylor is the only person that's been making plays in the running game. So if he starts, then I'm going to feel a little bit better about this running game. But still, there's no dice.
All right, Joe. Let the people know where they can find you. Before you do that, let me just say this. This dude's one of the hardest working people on YouTube, bro. This dude puts out so much content. It's a lot. I'm telling y'all, it's a huge inspiration to what we do over here. Without this dude, again, a lot of Patreon members, there'd be no player interviews. There wouldn't be a lot of stuff. So this dude works extremely hard. So go over there, and not for nothing, Panthers fans, if you're watching this, go get this man a sub because he earns it just because of some of the content you guys get over here. So sub up, man. This dude should have at least 6,000-7,000 subscribers right now, and it's super disrespectful where he is. So go over there, hit the subscribe button for your boy, but let the people know where they can find you at.
I appreciate that, man. Y'all gonna make me cry getting off this. Now, Joe Castro, Philly the podcast. You can catch me on YouTube, Newsbreak, our website, phillythepodcast.com, on Twitter at PhillyTP. We're everywhere, anywhere you can be. And I just gotta say, man, I really do appreciate what you guys do, man. Because I'm a fan first, right? I think we all are. We're all fans of football. So being able to come to your guys' channel and the work that you guys put in, the insight that you guys give, it's awesome. It's awesome to see such, knowledgeable content creators. So I appreciate that, all the kind words and you guys saying that I've given anything to your channel because you guys have an amazing channel. So again, thank you for